Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
And the only reason I'm so excited is because the first show we're going to talk about is very exciting. But before we talk about, how you doing? How have you been?
To whom are you speaking?
Them, you.
Oh,
well, I know you.
You know how I am. I'm tired.
This is very exciting. It's the Emmys are this Sunday. Not exciting, but the Emmys. I'm not excited.
Well,
I'm not
sort
excited.
of interested.
I'm fairly interested, but I'm bored with them. But then tons of new shows come.
But
tons of new
mostly-
seasons come back. New shows will come back. Will start, and there will be lots to talk about. And it's almost Oscar season with tons of new movies coming out.
But
what?
the final episode of Vigil.
Not yet.
No, not Sunday?
No, that's
not the
penultimate.
end? No. Yes, I'm glad there's another one to go, but the suspense is killing me.
I know. Okay, so first of all, we tallied 17 primetime shows. Very good stats this week. Co-written or written by a woman, 12, which is 70%, and directed by a woman, 9, which is 53%.
Was this because of the morning show?
Probably, and you just gave it away.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so the first show, you've seen the first show that we're going to talk to you about, but this is actually a review of the new season of a show you already know, The Morning Show.
If you think last season was great and last season was great, wait till you see this season.
Now let us start by saying it starts to actually, for you, it will already be yesterday. It starts September 17th, but they're going to do one episode a week, which is cruel and unusual.
It's really going to kill you.
We, however, watched the entire season, all 10 episodes, and
in a couple of 2 or 3 days.
And we can barely tell you anything.
Yes, we can't tell you anything, really. I'll remind you, it's on Apple TV Plus, 10 episodes. I'll remind you of who developed by Carrie Aaron. I'll remind you of who the stars are, in case you don't remember. Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup, Karen Pittman, Steve Carell, Holland Taylor, Mark Duplass, Greta Lee.
She's new in this one?
Yes, new.
And also new in this season,
Juliana Margulies. And many of you will, and many of you won't, know Valeria Golino,
who is going to capture your heart on the first sentence she utters.
She is divine, just divine. She has a very important role to play. You know the premise. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the politics and the turmoil.
And the soul-crushing business
of creating a morning show, being in television, trying to have a little bit of a personal life at the same time. Well, the sexual harassment is sort of in the rearview mirror, but it still figures prominently for what it wrought on both the victims and the perpetrators. Mm-hmm. And what can I tell you? There isn't anything I can tell you. We're
going to barely throw a lot of superlatives your way.
Yeah, it's just superb. It's exciting. Now, after the first 2 episodes, which are a little slow, as they were in the last season, they have to lay the groundwork, and they lay it very carefully. Tell you where everybody is right now in time, what's happened since we last saw you. COVID has reared its ugly head. It begins, and then it progresses. So it shows you, in case you didn't remember, what it was like in the beginning.
And also to be in a morning show.
Yes,
during a morning show. But you see, the first season, the first 2 episodes were slow. Then it went into this heightened state. And then it also kind of had a few episodes that were a little down.
Nothing
Then
down.
as of the 3rd episode, it's bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The first 2 episodes are the roller coaster going up the hill. And then the whole rest.
Lulling you into a sense of confidence and security.
But enjoying the ride, enjoying the sights. Oh, this is fun.
Then
it hits the down, meaning up, and
Just
it never
woo,
stops.
woo.
Just right until the end. It is just
Oh my God, it's so
it is.
good.
It
is so
thrilling, and everybody
good.
is so wonderful.
And there will be a lot of surprises. That you are going to be very excited
Yes,
about. But we can't tell you anything. Especially because really it's every week you're going to have a new episode. And so we really don't want to spoil anything.
We don't want to give anything away because the revelations are fabulous. The things that happen are fantastic. Earth-shattering.
It's just too good.
Yeah.
It's just, the show is written so well. The women are fantastic. Again, the chemistry between Reese and Jennifer is mind-blowing.
Yes, absolutely. It's just so good. And, we said this in the sort of the first half. Last season was really Jennifer's show. And this season is Reese's show. But when you hit about mid-center, about midway, it's everybody's show.
I think everybody got highlighted here, especially the women. But every single one of the main characters had heft, had a good storyline, had good
had the focus, and
use.
were brilliant, had good writing to work with, had big events to work with. And the surprises just keep on coming.
Yeah, it's
it really raised the stakes, and you didn't think the stakes could be much higher, but they're really much higher, and
you just want to make sure you watch it.
Yeah, okay. And if you didn't see it last season, it's
a great time to catch up.
You have to watch it. You'll have time between the first episode and the second episode
to finish them all.
To finish it. And Apple, of course, has
TV
both.
Plus, yes.
Apple TV Plus will have the whole of the first season there. Do yourself a favor, and if you haven't watched it, watch the first season right now.
Do not miss the second season.
No. And don't worry about it being just a little slow in the beginning.
Well, I would worry. Oh no, I was gonna say I would worry about the slow doling of the episodes, which is going to be hard.
That's going to be torture.
But I don't think I could wait to binge the whole thing. I think I would want to watch it right now.
Yes, I wouldn't. I know some people wait until they've got at least most of them.
It's 10 weeks. It's a long time.
And anyway, if you have TV watching friends, they will tell you.
Right.
And you don't want
exactly.
to know
Things
that.
will leak. So watch. The Morning Show second season is available on Apple TV Plus, the first episode anyway, right now. Okay, the second show that we have to tell you about, which is very exciting but on an entirely different level and in an entirely different way, is called Dopesick. It premieres on Hulu October 13th, which we know is a little ways away, but we wanted to give you a heads up because it is... I think will be talked about a lot. It's an 8-episode drama directed by Barry Levinson and written by Danny Strong.
Barry Levinson.
Yeah, it's a very good pedigree. And it's inspired by the book by Beth Macy, which was a bestseller.
New York Times bestseller.
Yeah. It stars Michael Keaton, Peter Sarsgaard, very importantly, Caitlin Dever, Rosario Dawson, Mare Winningham, Philippa Sue,
Michael Stolberg.
Yeah, it's chock full of excellent actors, and each and every one of them gives a breathtaking performance.
Yes. I'm not sure Rosario Dawson is a breathtaking
not yet.
performance.
She might.
But she's very good.
Yes, and I think she'll have more to do later.
She doesn't have the material to be breathtaking, really.
Right. We've watched 4 out of the 8 so far, and... The show is about... So a few weeks ago, I told you about the new HBO docuseries, The Crime of the Century, which I couldn't watch more than half an episode of because it was so deeply, deeply disturbing. It was about the Purdue Big Pharma company that created OxyContin and all of the
worst drug ever made.
That basically created the worst addiction epidemic in America, and the evil with which it was manufactured, pushed on people, lied about the people and the institutions that collaborated in order to create this massive addiction,
it is
to line the
crushing.
Pockets of a very select few and ruin the lives and end the lives many people and families. I couldn't watch more than half of the episode of that because it was just too soul crushing, and it made me physically feel like I was going to vomit. And this, as good drama does, it takes that and it brings it to life with stories that make it more palatable,
Yes.
because even though this is so deeply disturbing, I can watch it because I care about these people,
Right, it
and I want to follow their
personalizes.
lives, and it's full of emotion and also beauty, and so this is to me what good television does. Documentaries are so important, but sometimes it can be just too much in your face, and you can't take it all because it's too real.
Yes, but storytelling and
Storytelling
acting
just takes everything into a different
it adds
world.
It adds some more distractions too.
It does, because it also gives you the good stuff.
Right.
It gives you connections and people and humanity
Performances
and
and lighting, and it gives you all the artistry
Right.
that comes with making good movies and good
It softens
television.
the punch a
It
little
isn't
bit.
just the bald facts.
It's interesting because it softens the punch on one hand, but it also makes it harder on the other hand,
Yes, 'cause
because
you care.
you get exactly you relate to these people, you care about them, and also again, when you tell a story, the drama of it is just it affects you so deeply.
Michael Keaton is so superb in this.
I think he was also one of the executive producers. So the story of this is it's kind of it's multi-pronged. It's on one hand Purdue and the story of how they made this drug and all the nefarious people there, the FDA, the DEA, but mostly it's the story of one small town in Virginia. It's a mining community. Caitlin Dever is a miner.
A young miner.
And
yes.
Michael Keaton is a local doctor. Now, what I also saw in the documentary is that many of those small communities have one doctor who knows everybody. He's delivered everybody's babies. He's nursed everybody. This is the one doctor, and oftentimes it's the one doctor who ends up feeling like he killed his entire community
Yes.
because of the drugs that he prescribed, unbeknownst to him, that were so lethal and damaging.
Yes, because the FDA approved a label that said not as...
Not addictive.
No, didn't say not
Barely
addictive.
addictive. Less
not
than
as
1%.
addictive as... Yes, not as addictive as other opiates.
And this is a label that has never existed before,
No.
and I don't think ever existed
And I
again.
still don't know why they did it.
Well, yes, you do know why.
do know
I'll
why?
remind you
All
later,
right.
yes. But I'll let you watch it and find out for yourselves. But Michael Keaton is that local doctor, and
He's so wonderful.
yes, it's one of my favorite things that I've ever seen him do.
I think it is my favorite thing I've ever seen him do.
This is so good. It's not easy to watch.
No.
But it is highly compelling, and I personally think it should be mandatory viewing. I think everybody should understand what forces work behind what we think is legitimate, sometimes legitimate. A lot of it is PR. A lot of it is about marketing, and you always have to ask yourself who makes money. Now, I don't want to. I know that this is kind of a bad time to say this when so many people think that science is questionable and vaccines should not be trusted, and somebody's making money off. You have to. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people don't do their due diligence. But if you do your due diligence, you do find the truth and where science exists and where fake news exists.
Well, the truth is that the vaccine is saving lives.
Right.
And the people who are getting sick and making others sick are the unvaccinated.
Well, and that this drug. The proof was that people's lives were being ruined,
Yes.
that people were getting addicted and dying, and all those things. So that was there. It existed. There was no question about that. They just kept making up more and more excuses as to why that's not actually happening.
And you find out so much of this through the case that the no, it's not the DEA.
No,
it's the Virginia
State
Attorney's Department.
Yeah.
Peter Sarsgaard is wonderful, and so is I don't remember the guy who plays his partner, but he's just fantastic.
Yes.
Probably John Hugenocker, or no, Will Poulter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when they peel away the layers of this rotten in the core onion, the things that you learn are just staggeringly evil.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
And this is all true. It corresponds
Yep.
with everything that I saw in the documentary. Nobody was making stuff up for drama's sake here.
But, and the good news is, as you watch it, don't forget that Purdue
We
was
won in the end.
forced out of business by the huge sums they had to pay out in the class action suit.
But the lives that were lost and the lives
the
that
way.
have been shattered.
As someone who lives with chronic pain, the fact that they preyed on these people just makes me want to, I don't know, strangle somebody. Because we're a very vulnerable.
Who are entitled to relief and to be believed.
Yes.
And what happens is that these kind of industries then throw it back at them. Oh, they got addicted. They misused it. No, it's your drug that is highly addictive, and that you sold them as something that was not addictive and kept pushing more dosages
more.
and paying
they convinced the doctors of things that are just
lying. This anyway. I mean, I know we talk about it. It's just because you see how much it affected us, and we really do think that everybody should watch so that you can all be informed about this sort of thing, and again, do your due diligence when you make these kind of decisions. So Dopesick is going to premiere on Hulu October 13th. I believe 3 episodes will drop in the first week and then 1 at a time for a total of 8. So make sure to check it out.
Here's a new documentary that everybody I know is going to want to see. It's called On Broadway. It's out in theaters now. Why it's not on television?
Yeah, the next 2 films that we'll
service.
tell you about are only coming out in theaters, which we think is a huge
mistake. It's not. They're not going to draw crowds to the theater.
Well, and it's wrong to make people try to convince people to go to the theater at a time when the pandemic is back into its height.
Anyway, the audiences will not be. I mean, Broadway is beloved, but still, people are not going to flock
maybe in
to
New
the
York
theater. In New York, maybe, yes. But it's directed by Oren Jacoby, and it features interviews with Helen Mirren, Christine Baranski, August Wilson, Hal Prince, James Corden, Alec Baldwin,
etc.,
Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, and many interviews with influential playwrights, directors, choreographers, performers, and producers. And all of those interviews are really fascinating, but I loved it. Okay,
let's just tell you what it's about.
Yeah. It's the story of what happened in
it's basically the history of Broadway starting around the 60s.
Around the 60s, exactly. And how it changed, and the devastating impact that AIDS had
among the stories.
Exactly. It's not about AIDS, but AIDS plays a very big part in it. We lost some of our greatest talents.
Well, when you cover the history of Broadway from the 60s on, you have to include that, and it was very monumental. But it also includes other, like the British invasion, and later on the commercial and the Disney invasion,
and also people like Fosse and Sondheim, who changed Broadway musicals forever, from the
cleaning up of Times Square, all these things.
It's a fascinating look at the community, at the talent, at Broadway.
They have great footage
itself. Oh, it has amazing footage. But I missed. They did very little with we didn't see hardly any of our stars of today. Where's Kelly O'Hara?
Where's Audra McDonald? Where's Patti LuPone?
Patti LuPone. Where are the
Angela
people
Lansbury,
who are
Broadway legends?
Broadway legends. It had a lot
Bernadette
of
Peters.
movie stars. Well, they did show Bernadette, but they didn't speak to her. There were, a lot of British movie stars. Where were our Broadway babies?
So I find it ironic that they were talking about towards the end, and I was actually happy that they presented this criticism as Broadway going commercial, and having to have a movie star in every production, and doing all these jukebox musicals and all those things. So basically, the movie replicated the same criticism.
Yeah.
They took all these Hollywood people hoping to appeal to. Well, who do you think is going to watch a movie about Broadway? People who love
Broadway.
Hollywood, or people who love Broadway? So show us the people that made Broadway, not the...
They showed a few of them, Tommy Tune.
Yes, but in terms of the actors, they didn't show anybody. They showed the behind-the-scenes people.
Well, Tommy was an actor.
But
he started off as an actor. I wanted to see my people today. Kristen Chenoweth. I
don't care if they were of yesteryear or today, as long as they were Broadway people.
Right.
It felt blatant how left out they were, that they didn't think they had enough draw
Yeah, they had Elaine Stritch.
No, they had
didn't even
footage.
speak
No, they
to
have
her,
historic
right.
footage
Well,
of
they
all these
couldn't-
things.
They couldn't have
Right,
Elaine,
yes. No, but they had historic footage. Bernadette Peters, you showed her in Sunday in the Park. Why not talk to her now and tell us about the making?
Yeah, why didn't they talk to Mandy Patinkin?
Stephen
Exactly.
Sondheim is still alive.
Exactly.
By the way.
Hello.
So yeah, that was a very
It kind of made me angry.
Yes.
And disappointed. On the other hand,
we enjoyed it.
We enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah. And sort of put that aside. We're warning you now.
Yes.
It's going to make you a little pissed off, but it's still wonderful.
Right. So On Broadway, the documentary is available in theaters now, and we can't recommend that you go to the theater to watch anything right now, unfortunately. So hopefully it will be available soon on another platform. Now,
I'm going to review this movie called Wife of a Spy, which is it's currently only in New York and soon in L.A., and they say other cities will follow.
Again, only in theaters, which I find to be a huge mistake.
It's a Japanese movie. It's called Wife of a Spy. Did I say that? Okay. It takes place in 1940 in Kobe, Japan, on basically the eve of World War II. I'm not even going to give you the plot. It's about a woman who finds out she's married to a spy, what her participation is, what his participation is. It's a little confusing. It's sort of hard to follow, but it is gorgeous to look at, and I enjoyed it. Even though I wasn't exactly sure all the time what was going on, it looked like it was a product of its period. It was suspenseful.
The reason, by the way, I believe that they are first insisting on putting it in the theaters is because it's shot
awards.
in 8K.
Oh, yes.
No, it's shot in 8K, and it's probably much more stunning to look at on the big screen.
It will be because it's beautiful to look at anyway. Yeah. And I can understand that, but they better really quickly start streaming it. Mm-hmm. And I recommend it. Just pay attention. And it was a satisfying film artistically.
Wife of a Spy.
Wife of a Spy.
Now, quickly, just to give you a heads up that, again, for you, it will already be yesterday, Back to the Rafters. You may have heard us a few years ago talk about how Back to the Rafters saved our lives. And that was true. And you also may have heard us tell Zoe Ventura that on our interview with her.
Yes, it was a sad period in our lives.
It was. And we binged the whole thing and felt like they were our family that we just hung out with. And we loved every second with them. And so
we didn't know any of the actors.
No, but we fell in love with Rebecca Gibney and with Zoe.
Rebecca Gibney. Then we watched everything she ever did.
Well, actually, we watched we discovered Back to the Rafters because we'd already seen her in Wanted and fell in love with
Wanted,
her.
right? Oh God.
So, much to our delight, we discovered that Back to the Rafters was coming back in a reboot or kind of like a sequel called Back to the Rafters. And again, much to our delight, it's on Amazon Prime, which means it's available to all. No problems with only in Australia, only here, only there, having to wait. It's only 6 episodes. That's the only fly in the ointment. But they managed to get a lot of the core cast back, including, most of you will be thrilled to know, Libby Tanner is in it.
Yes, she wasn't in the original.
No, she wasn't in the original.
She's the newcomer of the group, and
we don't know
Wentworth fans are going to be thrilled.
Yeah, we don't know what size role she has, but
but she was included in the trailer.
Snippet, yes. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this picks up 6 years after the original ended. And lots of conflict and family drama, as it has to be.
And as there was in the first one.
That's right. I mean, when we saw the trailer, it was amazing how much they managed to pack in 6 episodes.
Packed to the Rafters.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're very excited. Yes. So that's all 6 episodes are available now. If you haven't seen the original, we urge you, I believe it's available on Hulu, I think it was 5 seasons.
Watch
Enjoy
the first,
it. It's such a treat.
It is. It's delightful. It's sweet. It's sad.
Yes.
It's
funny.
A wonderful family. You'll really want to know these people.
Yeah. So Packed to the Rafters and originally Back to the Rafters and originally Packed to the Rafters. Make sure to check it out and also fall in love with Rebecca Gibney if you haven't already in Wanted. So thank you for joining us. We will have lots to tell you moving forward because this is the time. New shows, new movies. And we already have...
I won't be able to blather on as long as I did
Well, we
today.
kind of had to. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again next week. And don't forget to join us on Talking Teal on Sundays.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.